Hello, welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build settle in because this is a little bit of a long one, and honestly, if I'm going to be building more apartments, we're going to have to either break them into parts or they are going to have to be longer videos. I am really sorry about that. I tried to squeeze this one down as short as I possibly could, and I just couldn't do it. Also, though, at the end of this one, what added a few extra minutes on was I decided not to do my usual screenshot kind of walkthrough type of thing that I've been doing on speed builds lately, but rather I decided to do sort of a walkthrough, but not a real time walkthrough. Like, I'm not gonna bring up the game at the end of the video and walk through it and describe things as I'm walking through. Rather, I already recorded the walkthrough and I'll record a voiceover over that as we're watching it. Does that make sense? You'll see when we get to the end, but I used to do these on all of my videos, and it got to be a lot, to be honest with you. It got to be a lot. But I've always preferred doing these walkthroughs more than I did the screenshots. I just don't think the screenshots can really. I'm not good at taking screenshots, number one. I'm terrible at it. So I think the walkthroughs can give you a better idea of what my builds look like than my terrible screenshots. I can. So this is obviously Garden Essence. It is the lot with the BFFs in Willow Creek. And I thought this was the probably second most perfect place in Willow Creek to start with apartments. And I'll show you where the first most logical place is probably in my next build, maybe. Or maybe I'll wait and save that for closer to when the pack comes out. It's a little bit from the outside, the build looks like it's supposed to be maybe a triplex. And it kind of looks like a house that was once a full house and then chopped up into pieces and made into an apartment building and then reconverted back into a single family house again. And if you know which one I'm talking about, it's not in this neighborhood, but it is in Willow Creek. It's in this world. I think you can probably guess if you really wanted to try to guess at which one it is. But it has two front doors. Plus, it has a side door as well. So maybe that'll give you a hint as to which one it is. But as soon as I heard the leak for this pack, and I came into the game to get some footage for something, I knew that had to be a house that I needed to turn into an apartment building. As soon as I looked at it, even before I looked at it, I'm in my head I could see that house and I knew. Anyways, we'll talk about that one later. So this is Garden Essence, and it is already up on the gallery for you. I think from now on, so I don't forget, I'm gonna upload these to the gallery, upload all of my builds to the gallery literally as soon as I finish them. So if you want to see my builds first before the speed build of it is released on my channel, go to my Sims 4 gallery page. Okay, so we're kind of getting closer to the decorating stage. As you saw, I did not delete the original build. I kept it. So it's not totally solely my own build. It is like half Max's build, I guess, because it was their shell minus a part and then doubled, if that makes sense. I thought this was the perfect place for duplex. Number one, it's in the Foundry Cove neighborhood, which to me is like the lower income sort of starter home single Sims or just a family just starting out or something neighborhood. And so I thought this would be the perfect place to have at least one duplex, if not, a couple of duplexes. Now, this lot was perfect to do a side by side duplex on because it's so incredibly wide. But I could see how maybe the next lot over, the Daisy Hovel, is that what it's called? I could see how that one could be a really good upstairs downstairs duplex, or even potentially a triplex, although I think that would be getting to be a little bit too much. I would probably keep it to like an upstairs downstairs duplex type of situation like this one, but not where the houses are side by side. But anyways, the main sort of shell, I guess, sort of this house, I more or less basically liked, and so I kept that sort of feel. And I liked the colors that they chose on the outside. Maybe that makes me weird, but I like that white and that dark bluish gray on the outside. So I kept that as well. And I loved the little bump out area by the kitchen. I think that makes the perfect little eating nook. So I kept that as well. These are really big, really, really big apartments. And as we go through, I do reduce the size of some of the areas, mainly the living room and the second back bedrooms that are next to the bathrooms. I reduce the size of those, but the hallways do kind of make these two apartments really big, anyways. Part of the problem with them looking big and empty is I decorated this in base game only mainly, and then I added a few little like knickknacks, tchotchkes, whatever you want to call them. I'm trying to think, what did I use? I used everyday clutter and what's that? Why can't I remember the names of these things ever? Blooming Rooms, that's what it was called. Blooming Rooms, the plant one, the first plant one. I used those two. Everyday clutter really helped quite a bit because these apartments were basically empty before I added those little touches in. Blooming Rooms I didn't use quite as much. And I think if you were to not have Blooming Rooms and downloaded this, you probably wouldn't notice much of a difference. Maybe a couple of things here and there missing, but that's about it. But you would notice if you don't have everyday clutter. Everyday clutter is a kit that I would definitely recommend getting. Especially if you only have base game, or if you have base game in just a couple of expansion game or stuff packs, everyday clutter is gonna give you that extra little bit of stuff that will add some fullness to your Sims homes so that they don't look so empty. But again, these apartments are really actually fairly big, and I probably could have cut them down even more, especially with the hallways. But my thinking was, if you're gonna have apartments, I mean, you can use this in base game. The version that I uploaded to the gallery, I assigned Travis and Liberty to side A, which is the left side if you're looking at it from the front, and Summer to side B, which is the right side if you're looking at it from the front. I don't know why, I just felt like Travis and Liberty would have probably been friends or something and would have moved into an apartment together because they're both very similar to one another. And then Liberty, I don't see her as being a loner sim. She wants to be a friend to the world. And so I would think she would have roommates, but it's just the three of them here. And so I wasn't really sure. Like, I kind of just broke them up based on their personalities. And again, Travis and Liberty have very similar personalities and stuff. So I put Summer in her own place. I assigned the bed in this unit to Summer, and then I assigned the other two beds that you'll see later in the video to Travis and Liberty. So they have their beds assigned to them, and Travis and Liberty have their computers because they each have their own computer. They have them locked to only allow them on their computer. So when they go to bed at night, they will go to the beds that they're assigned to, and presumably that means that when they get up in the morning, most of the stuff that they do will be on their side of the duplex because it will just be right there. Like, I can see The Sims, and I know The Sims do this. They will go out of their way to use the bathroom on the other side of the duplex if theirs is being used or something's broken or messy in it. I know. But for the most part, I would think that they would stick mainly to their side, especially around sleeping times, getting up and going to bed. And you can easily direct them to do stuff on their side only, and it's fine. That's what's nice about building duplexes, and I don't know why I didn't think of it sooner. You can build duplexes anywhere in the game already. You just, no, I take that back. I did think of it sooner. Way back when Get Famous came out, and do I have any of those videos on my channel? I don't know if I do. I'd have to go back. I think which one came out first? City Living? Did City Living come out before Eco Lifestyle? I don't remember. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, my first video was in. Let me find my YouTube channel. Hold on. My first video that I uploaded was April 2019 on this channel. Now, I had a channel before this, and I deeply, deeply regret deleting it. I had to stop using it for a couple of years, and so when I came back to YouTube, my instinct was to just delete it and start a new YouTube channel because actually, I think someone told me to do that. Told me to start a new YouTube channel because if you abandon one for a couple of years, the algorithm will just completely hate you and will not ever recommend that channel or anything, right? So I think someone told me just to delete the original channel and start this new one. Now, I'm at the store on thesims.com, and they don't have these. They have them in backwards order. Hold on. Let me scroll all the way to the bottom of the list. They have them in order of which they were released, though. Okay, Outdoor Retreat was first. I remember that. I did not have a channel at that time, nor did I have a channel during Get to Work. I think, let me see. No, I had to have. I don't remember. Because the first video I did on this channel, I did it in Brindleton Bay. So Brindleton Bay was already out. But that was the first video I did for this channel. Where's pets? Cats and dogs. There it is. Wow. The Sims 4. Okay. So, okay, I know what it was. Cats and Dogs had just come out not long before, and laundry day was about to come out, but everyone thought it had something to do with eco living or eco lifestyle, farming. Everyone was swearing that it had to do with something with farming. And so I started my first Sims 4 series for this channel with my farmer sim. And it's still available. You could go back and look at it. It's badly recorded on an old HP office laptop. Bad everything. Like, the quality is not great yet. I'm getting there, I'm learning, but it was so bad back in 2019. And that was only what? Four or 5 years ago? Not that long, really, honestly. 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah, it was only 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, not even 5 years yet. I do regret deleting the other channel, though. I think I had some Sims stuff on the old channel. It was predominantly a Minecraft channel. That's what it had started out as. And it didn't even occur to me to record Sims stuff back then. I didn't even know back in 2015 that people would watch Sims stuff on YouTube. I mainly only saw Minecraft and like other action type games and stuff. I don't know why, but never even ran into the Sim stuff. So, anyways, let's get back to this build. Oh, what I was saying, the reason why I looked that up and everything was back when Get Famous came out. So I had this channel at that time. I must have scrapped them. I must have scrapped the ideas for them and stuff because I had this channel when Get Famous came out. And I don't know why I never put them up here, but I did try to build a couple of duplexes for Del Sol Valley because that little like basic neighborhood for like your lower income just starting out Sims, there's at least one lot there that looks like it's perfectly set up for a duplex. And I'd seen other people doing it and I wanted to try it too. So I did build a couple of duplexes for that. I guess they just never made it onto the channel. Probably because I play tested them and they didn't work how I wanted them to, and I got frustrated and decided not to do it. I have learned a lot about The Sims 4 since then, and yes, you do have to kind of micromanage your Sims a little bit better, but you also just kind of gotta let go and accept that they're gonna use each other's sides, and it's okay because they can be friends and they can use each other's sides, and it's fine. It's not gonna hurt anything. I think I just wanted everything to be perfect, and it wasn't perfect, and so I couldn't deal with it. So I guess I just never uploaded those, never did anything with them or anything. So yeah. But now I want to build duplexes. I want to build duplexes and triplexes and multiplexes and just all the plexes, all the things. My understanding is a sim guru on what used to be known as Twitter mentioned that they don't know the limit to the number of apartments and or families you can have on an apartment lot because they did some building and some playing and they never hit that limit. Like, they were never told you can't have any more apartments, you can't have any more Sims on this lot, which potentially suggests that we can have quite a few. But for now, until we have more information, if I build any more, like, they're gonna be duplexes or triplexes at the absolute most. I may build a few more. I may go back because I still remember the duplex that I built for Del Sol Valley. I may go back and rebuild that and finally put it up on my channel after all these years. So yeah, I might. I actually think I might do that, just to tide us over until we have more information. But I'm not gonna do a ton of them because I don't want to get bored and I don't want to have to go back and edit a ton of lots because my feeling is that there are going to be very specific doors that you can use. Like, I don't think you'll be able to use just any door in the game. I think there will be maybe 3 doors that you can use, and that's it to signify an apartment, and that can be locked and assigned to a family. You know what I mean? I think there's going to be a limit to them, and I think there's going to be very specific ones, and I don't want to have to come back and replace all the doors on all these builds. That's tedious and annoying. But also, there are other things to take into consideration. Like, currently, this duplex does not have a common area except for the front yard. And how is that going to work for like potlucks and stuff? If potlucks and things are autonomous, if they happen automatically, the game puts them into motion, like say a specific day of the week or something. How is that going to work on a lot like this where they don't really share a common area except for the front yard? And how does it work with yards? Can you assign yard areas to apartments as well? I have so many questions. I just have so many questions about how this is going to work. And that fence right there, I don't know if it's the fence that I chose or what, but I could not get it to have the end caps on the end of the part that's on the foundation, no matter how hard I tried. I have seen other people do fences like that where they were partially on a foundation and then partially off the foundation, and the end caps all show up normally, but mine would not. So I do go back and edit the fence so that that entire patio is within the fence so that we don't have to worry about any of that missing end cap stuff and whatnot. And it looks neater, it looks tidier, it just all around looks better. Yes, I did realize at some point that the house was off center. You can tell. Oh no, I haven't realized it yet that the house was off center. This is the part where I'm gonna start to realize that the house is off center because of the way the end cap pillar things of the fence show up on the other side versus this side. And by this point, I was like, I just don't care. It looks fine, it's functional. So, what if one apartment gets a slightly bigger yard than the other apartment? Oh well. I think it's only maybe 2 tiles off at the most. So, really, it's not like a huge difference. It's just enough to see it with those end pillar, end cap things on the fence there. We're just about done. We're about to enter our walkthrough in just a second here. And so I'm just putting in the sidewalks now and centering the mailbox, and then we will stop. I interrupt this speed build right there because this speed build went in a whole other direction ish, sort of, before. I left it right there where you just saw me ending. I left it there. I did a little walkthrough and I called it good. And then I could not stop thinking about how much I hated it. So I came back and I re edited it. That sounded funny, but you know what I'm trying to say. I shrunk the hallways down the hallways bother me. So I restricted myself to base game, blooming rooms, and what was it? Everyday clutter kit, right? I think those were the three. And I probably already mentioned that several times in this video. I'm sorry. I'm recording this right before uploading it because I got rid of the whole ending of this video and started it over. So, anyways, I restricted myself to only those so that the max number of people could download this, and then you could add other stuff to it. I think I explained all of this, but it just was too bare. And there were areas that were just too needlessly big, like the hallways. The hallways were needlessly enormous, and I hated it. I really, really hated it. And I didn't want to hate this build. I wanted to love this build, and I wanted to use it in other like let's plays and stuff that I was gonna do in the future because the like structure of it, I think is really pretty. I think this is actually a fairly pretty duplex, but there's so much empty, wasted space in some parts of it, and it really bothered me. So I came back in, I edited it. That's really hard for me to say for some reason. I exited the game, forgot to save, had to go back in and redo it all over again. As you can see, it took me a minute to figure out what I was doing the second time around. But I came back in and I shrunk the whole like footprint, the width of it down by 2 blocks. It actually wasn't hard. It just took a little bit of jigsawing of the bedrooms on the one side. Other than that, it wasn't hard. But the second time around was annoying because I didn't just go in the same order that I did the first time. And so I messed up a few times, and that's why it took me so long to get it shrunk down in the video. But, anyways, that's all beside the point. The point is, it turns out a lot better. I did leave both versions on the gallery, the one that's 2 tiles wider, where each hallway is 3 tiles wide instead of 2, and this version is on the gallery as well. I like this version better. I did go back in and add a little bit more on Summer's side because I figured she would, I don't know, I just felt like she would be more into having more stuff. Whereas Travis and Liberty probably don't care. Like they're focused on their careers and stuff, and they just don't care about all the stuff. And here we are. We're at the screenshot. So I scrapped the walkthrough because I'm doing this literally last minute before I upload. But you can see kind of how everything looks. The BFFs got in my way. What's funny is they seemed to instinctively know which side was theirs. And I don't know if that's because I tagged their beds and their computers to them, like assigned them to them or what, but they just knew which side they belonged on. It was kind of funny. But yeah, here's their bedrooms and everything, and I think it turned out really cute. And with more packs, you can add obviously a lot more decor and make it even cuter. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.